up in a haunted house, but I was working with this old traveller fella up in Wandsworth, like on the roofs, and we was in this big old house next to the Wandsworth prison, and he was talking to the woman about money and everything, and I asked her if I could go to the toilet. She said, "Yeah, go upstairs. Second on the left is the toilet." So I went upstairs, and when I went past the first bedroom, I see a pinball machine. So I nipped in there. It's only a little box room with a bed there and a pinball machine here. So I jumped on it, had a couple of games on it, like, and I felt like someone was behind me. Anyway, I looked quick, and there's this old woman sitting on the bed like
Yeah.
that, with all her hair pulled back, just sitting with her hands on her knees, a Victorian woman. I went, "Oh, sorry, sorry." So I got out of there a bit live. I didn't realise she was a ghost. Went to the toilet, went downstairs, and set the bill. I said, "Oh, I've just been playing a game of pinball, like," and anyway, the woman's gone, "Oh, who did you see?" I said, "Oh, I see an old lady." She asked me what she looked like, and I told her. She goes, "Oh my God, that's my mother. She's been dead 20 years."
Bloody hell.
Yeah, mate, it was as
Jesus
clear as looking
Christ.
at you two.
Bloody
That, that,
hell.
that really shit me up, mate, I tell you, because he could be in a traveller, they don't like things like that. And he's
Yeah.
gone, "Geordie Chavy, let's get out of here." He's gone, "Fucking hell." It's crazy. Yeah.
Jesus
That was
Christ.
that's how I got into it really then, you know.
Bloody
And
hell.
that was back like late 70s, that was. Yeah.
But from that experience, then you was like, I want to know more.
Well, yeah, I mean, even when my dad told me about the house that we lived in, I wanted to know more then, you know, but he just sort of kept boo-hooing it.
Mm.
No, they don't exist, it's all in imagination. But your
Yeah,
mum said,
yeah. See, my old man's like that.
yeah, because he didn't want to scare me, like, you know, and my
Hi,
sister.
Chloe. Hi, Amy.
Yeah, yeah,
Hi,
yeah.
Izzy.
Yeah.
Hi, Sean.
So
Oh,
yeah,
mate.
it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, mate, what an experience.
Mm.
That's mad,
Yeah,
that is.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was, mate. It's like looking at you, you know. It's like an old woman, all her hair pulled back in a bun. And I'll
Yeah.
never forget her face now, you know. She was all in black with her hands on her knees like that.
Yeah.
And I thought
Did
she
you
weren't
try and
there.
make contact or anything?
Huh?
Did you try and make contact or anything? Or, you know, did
No,
you
no, we had to get out of the house because he was only working there and he was trying to get more work out of this woman and he was talking
Yeah.
money. So, of course, when I said that, he said, "Fuck that." He said, "We ain't working here. We're going to get out." He wouldn't work there.
Not worth the money.
No, he said, like, if we're up the ladder, he said, and she puts her head through the window, I'll fall off, he says. So, yeah, he shit himself. Yeah.
Bloody
Yeah,
hell.
so yeah, that was pretty cool. Then I
Yeah.
see one with my wife and in Sunbury, we lived opposite like an old farmyard and they'd done all the veg and all that and all the ground was up and down.
Okay.
And we pulled up about 2 o'clock one night and I see this white figure behind the hedge, and we thought it was a lump of like a load of mist sort of coming in,
Yeah.
but it was just floating behind the hedge, and we all looked at it, and we thought, "Fuck me, that's a ghost." So of course we've all run out and run in the house, and we looking out the window, and we see it go right down the end and disappear by the roundabout. So so they were the two that I've seen, apart from what we do now, like shadows and all that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Bloody hell. So
yeah.
Chloe says in the chat, hi, hope everyone is well.
Hi, Chloe.
Yeah, hi Chloe. Yeah, we're all well. How's your day been? How's your week been? We hope that you're all well and safe. Yeah, so that's a mad experience that you had then. Like,
Yeah, that was, man. That was crazy.
like
Yeah.
when was this? Like 10 years ago, 20 years ago?
No, this was about 79. This was about 1979.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, years ago. It's right next door to the
Yeah.
prison. Never forget that. It was crazy, you know. I mean, I was only fucking young myself, you know.
Yeah.
So fuck me.
Bloody hell, that's an experience though.
Yeah, that
Like,
was, man.
I remember talking on here when we done our first chat show. Like my first paranormal experience was I was probably around about 8, 9 years of age, and I lived at 126 Byron Road in Southampton.
Right.
And every single night there was a guy at the back of our garden. We had the tiny little metal fences so they're barely even a fence. You can step over it really, but every single night a guy would stand at the back of our garden. He
Yeah.
was wearing a dark suit, so the old fashioned like top hats, like the old 1960s proper gangster style top hats.
Oh yeah.
He had like a really thick, distinctive moustache, and he would walk up the back of my path, through the kitchen, through the dining room. He would take a sharp right straight up directly up the stairs, stand in my bedroom door, and disappear.
Fucking-
And that was that was my first ever proper experience. And it got really bad. It got to the point that this was happening every single night for about 6 months.
Bloody
Um,
hell.
yeah, it got to the point where my parents nearly split up over it because my mum would have to sleep in bed with me to make me
Christ.
go to sleep and stuff. And once we moved out of that house, nothing, never had anything other. You
That's
know,
strange,
not
wasn't
from
it?
that gentleman. So yeah, that was my first ever experience. And it was just bizarre, like, but they do say, don't they, that kids can pick up and they
Yeah.
sense it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Did it feel cold when it was in your bedroom, or didn't you really realise?
no, I didn't even really realise. Like
No.
it would just come up the stairs, stand there, and just sort of fade out almost. And then, but this would happen Monday to Sunday every night. Yeah.
No.
So
Christ.
Chloe says in the chat, I'm still waiting for the Spirit Brothers app. Well, Chloe, we'll be working on that maybe in the future, in a few years' time. But yeah, it's a very difficult thing to get into, isn't it, doing all that sort of stuff. But
Bad
we've only
enough getting the videos out.
yeah, it's hard enough getting the videos out. Yeah, like
Good
we've just
night.
learned how to build REM pods, so we start
Yeah.
building REM pods and that now. But I
Yeah,
think
that'd
you
be
might
good,
be
man.
waiting a while for the Spirit Brothers app. But hopefully your penny swear jar that you've got, Chloe, for us, that will probably be filled up, and then you can purchase the app when it comes out in a few years' time, hopefully. But
Big ideas.
yeah, big ideas.
Yeah.
But obviously now
Yeah.
we've got Haunted Seekers on with us tonight. I know it wasn't working properly earlier. We had a bit of technical issues, so unfortunately the other half of Haunted Seekers isn't able. But hopefully they're in the group chat.
No,
But-
what I do, I'll come on for say 30 minutes, and then I'll get off, and Baz can come on.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll share it that way.
Yeah,
Good idea. I did
Yeah.
just text Barry anyway, saying that we are live again anyway.
yeah,
Yeah. Tell him that. Well, he's probably watching it. I'll come off say about 8:30,
Yeah,
and then he can come on, and then he can have a chat and tell you his
Yeah,
experiences.
yeah,
sounds good.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Leah said that's better, guys. Yeah, I mean there was a lot of interference with the mics and stuff, and
Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
just doing it. It's hard to sort it. It's
I
this
can
is
only
mad,
see
isn't it?
Captain's face.
That's mad, isn't it? Seeing
It
you
is
two
crazy.
sitting there, and I'm sitting in my front room, fucking crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's mad.
Fucking
But,
hell. Technology,
so-
mate.
Like I was going to say, with now we've got Haunted Seekers on. Did you want to share your first ever experience again, like we've been doing?
Oh, mate, where do I start? So, my first main experience really was we lived at a place called Beggarwood, and obviously before that it was all farmers' fields. But unfortunately, where our house was on the farmers' field used to be the farmers' like shed type of thing. And I was in the garage one night, but you went through the living room into the conservatory and then like into the garage.
Yeah, yeah.
And our tumble dryer used to be in there. So one night I was in there, I kept the door open with a paint pot and I had the light on in the conservatory. And I went down to the end of the garage to go into the tumble dryer to get some stuff out. And all of a sudden, the light went as if, you know, when someone walks in front of the light, it just goes all dark.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And that happened. And I just looked and there was this, you could make out this mass just stood there staring at me. And he had one of these like high collared bloody cloaks on. And I just stared at it for about a minute. And he was just stood there staring at me. And it wasn't until I looked away and went, what the F? Looked away, looked back, and he turned and walked sideways into the wall and just disappeared.
How old was you then?
25, something like that.
No. Jesus.
Yeah.
Did you see
Yeah.
him more than once or just once?
Sorry?
Did you see him more than once or just that one time?
Oh, Mum says 22 apparently. So yeah, I was 22. I only ever saw him the once.
Oh, right. Is your mum there?
Yeah, my mum's in the chat. Yeah.
Oh, right. Say hi. Oh, hi.
Yeah, so I told my mum about what happened and she got a medium into the house.
Oh,
And
right.
she was quite interested to see who it was and And the medium said, "Oh, it was a local farmer that used to be here."
That is
So,
mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
But so going back to the chat quickly, Chloe also asks, are any of you guys going to get any more tattoos?
Oh,
So I'll let you answer that one, Barry, first, because obviously you've got a few tattoos there yourself.
Yeah, I seem to be getting sort of symbolic ones now. You know, like I've got that pentagram on the back of my neck, haven't I? And
Yeah.
I've got a scythe here, and I've got the 3 stars here. I've got those Egyptian crosses for protection on my hands being put. So
Yeah.
I'm probably going to get a couple more, but sort of protective tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a bad
Yeah.
shout, actually. And
Yeah,
yeah, Chloe, I'm going to hopefully get a few more. They're extremely expensive these days, though.
Tattoos are very
Tattoos,
expensive.
they're
Yeah,
very expensive.
I've got a guy up in Margate. They're proper biker people, like, you know, and they're really cheap. I mean, that was only 40 quid, that scythe, and these stars were only 40 quid.
Yeah.
And that pentagram, that was 50 quid. You know, so,
Yeah.
and up here, you're looking at, in London, you're looking at about probably 250, 300,
Yeah, easy.
you know? Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'll go up there and get mine.
I mean, I've been going to the same guy for years now. I always go to Southampton to get mine.
Yeah,
The prices have gone up slightly, but I normally pay about 60 quid an hour, something
Yeah.
like that, 50
Yeah.
to 60 pound an hour. But it does get expensive. But yeah, hopefully one day, Chloe, I'll be getting some more. Me and Carl actually had a pact that if we reach a certain amount of subscribers on YouTube, then we will get the Spirit Brothers logo tattooed on us.
If you get so many subscribers, you have to put a ring on my finger.
No deal. No deal. Right, you're ending
I
off
heard
there,
that.
people, right?
Yeah, so ask her how many subscribers before you put the ring on her finger.
Yeah.
10 million. Need 10 million subscribers first.
Fuck me, you'll be dead by then.
Exactly. Exactly. I'll die a happy man then, wouldn't I?
You were in it tonight, boy. Yeah.
So, but yeah, guys, for you guys that are new to our channel, so obviously we're on it tonight with Haunted Seekers. Now we've been lucky enough and fortunate enough to be able to go on several locations
Yes.
with them before in the past. We've done the Weymouth tunnels. We've done
Fucking no, yeah.
Arthur Conan Doyle
Shepton Mallet.
Cemetery, Shepton Mallet Prison.
And then tombs. That night we done them tombs. Fuck me, that was
All them
that was
stones throw in.
that
Yeah.
was a mental night when they threw that stone at you if you had an attachment. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
In that end tunnel, in that
in
end,
that little room bit.
because I thought, nah, there's no way they're going to throw a stone. Fuck me, it threw it at me.
Yeah.
Didn't like you, did it?
No, it didn't like. No, it didn't like that. I said, if Daryl's got an attachment, can you throw a stone? And then the next minute, fucking threw a stone. I couldn't believe it. It was throwing stones all night, wasn't it? Let's be fair.
Yeah. All night.
That was a crazy night. And that 1600 cell in Shepton Mallet,
Oh,
that was off
That was off the chart, wasn't it?
that was another level. That was
Yeah.
That was.
I mean, we had the K2s were going, the REM pod was going,
Mm.
everything was going on point. I think even Barry had the stone chucked at him inside that
Yeah,
cell.
that's it. Yeah, that did it. Honestly, it was crazy.
Trying to explain to these people, this 1600 cell was by what, like
It
a
was
metre
about,
and a half, 1 metre and a
I'll say
half?
it's about 6 foot long by about 3 foot wide, if that.
Chloe says, I think Cole needs a GoFundMe page for this ring. I'll tell you what, make sure you share this live out, guys. Share this post.
See?
Yeah,
Stone hit my
you
leg.
did. The stone hit my leg, Barry says in the
Yeah,
comments.
Yeah. It was kicking
It
off
did.
in that cell, wasn't it? It was
That's bad.
kicking
Yeah,
off.
it did hit his leg. Because remember,
Yeah.
I said, what was that? Because that was a fucking stone hit my leg. It rebounded off the wall, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was Frominton Falls.
I think the thing is what people don't realise is obviously because you can make it look a lot bigger in there by zooming out of the camera. But
Yeah.
in reality, with all 4 of us in that room, it was probably no bigger than a large sized dining table.
No, seriously, that was small. Because I thought Carl was so close, I thought he was going to kiss me at any minute.
You wish, mate.
That's coming out in part 2, guys.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, go
Yeah.
back to those tombs though. I mean, those tombs spent 5,500 years.
Mhm.
that was
Yeah.
mental that night. That
You
was
know
a
what I
really
mean?
good. Me and
Yeah.
Barry often watch that video because that was quite a lot of. But it seems to be dead there now, and I'll tell you why that is. Because when we went back there
All right.
after the full moon,
Okay,
me,
yeah.
me and Baz walks up there. I tell you, that hill just does me up, mate. I tell you, I was fucked, mate,
It's
walking
a
up that
big
hill.
old crest, isn't it?
Well, anyway, we got there. Anyway, we're just going to walk in, and old Baz had gone in first, and there's about 14 people in there, all sitting
No.
around at the end. They're all doing their bit for the new moon, and they were saging like crazy. And we were outside, and I said to Baz, fucking hell. He said, what should we do? I said, well, come on, mate. You know, we got here now. Let's just wait and see. They might go. You know, they all came out. I couldn't believe how many were in there. And as they're coming out and said, we tell them what we were. We got 2 subscribers that night. Anyway, we went in there, and it was as dead as a dodo, and all you could smell was sage. And,
Yeah.
and that's all they done. And apparently, the night before that, there's about 200 people there. So obviously, it just whatever spirit was there, they just left, mate. They had enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, that's crazy. So
Yeah,
we'll just
I
jump
don't
back
know.
into,
Go
the
on.
chat quickly. Barry says, when the bald fella grabbed your leg, it made me jump. So
Oh,
when he grabbed
mate.
your leg, didn't he?
that guy
Oh.
nearly got kicked in the face. Nearly made me
Oh,
jump
do you
up and
remember
in.
that? Fucking hell.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Leah says I've done it already. I think that's about go phone friends.
Mum, Mum.
And Amy asks, when is your next live out in the field and where are you going?
Well, I'll let you. We've been out on a few locations and we have tried to go live, but unfortunately, sometimes where the locations we go to, there's just no signal.
No signal, is
You know
there?
what I mean? It's so difficult to go live.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand that, Don, but we have tried to go live when we've been out on the field, and
Yeah.
it's just either of us, isn't it?
Yeah, it's difficult. Like
It's hard.
we barely get enough signal to send a text message to our partners to let them know that we're there.
No, that's
Um,
right. Me and
but-
Bastrop, we don't bother with live because we just because we tried it once at Minster Lovell.
Yeah,
like,
I have seen I have seen online now what they're selling is these Wi-Fi boxes. So obviously you connect it up and you pay for it out of your own money. So you link it up with like your Sky account or something, and then you can take this box with you, and then you can
Right.
have a Wi-Fi off of it. But they're like £800, and they're like, I'm not gonna spend that sort of money just to go live, you know. But
Just
There's
like
no
Mr.
point, is
said,
there?
just get it by a dongle.
yeah,
Put like £5, £10 on
Yeah.
it, and just use that.
yeah,
Yeah, wouldn't it be the same as using your
Yeah.
phone? It necessarily using your phone.
I
Crazy.
have no idea. But hopefully, Amy,
Mm.
we are going to have a couple of lives this year
Don't be live on the toilet.
where we're going to be
Just for
able,
you, Chloe.
where we're going to be able to actually do some indoor locations.
Yeah.
So they'll have the internet and Wi-Fi and that set up there. So maybe we can go live that way.
So, guys, as we've got Haunted Seekers with us tonight, joining us. Haunted Seekers, where's your next location? When are you
Well-
guys next?
Well, our next one is we're going to we just finished that what do you call it, Ostrich Inn.
Yeah.
And because that was about the murders, but also highwaymen went there.
Yeah.
What we're doing, we're going to link up the next video with the highwaymen with Dick Turpin, but it's worked out that we can't get this. We've got this hotel book, but it's not until I think the 4th of March.
Right.
So what we're doing is we're going to go to the escape route where he came, and then there's another thing we're doing there. It's about a gunpowder factory that blew up and everything. So there's quite a lot of history with that, and
Yeah.
that's right on the river. So we're going to go down and do that one next before we do the hotel, because with these
Yeah.
hotels, when you book them up to pay for them, you have to book them up in advance, and you can't always
Yeah.
get the night you want. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Then you have to
Yeah.
take it a week later or whatever, That's the trouble with
Yeah.
paid events, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that is the issue. I mean, the other way around certain things like that is is doing a group booking. But the issue is that there can be quite a bit of cross contamination in your
Oh,
videos
yeah.
when you've got 30 people walking about.
Yeah.
I mean, in them sort of buildings, like say 30 East Drive, for example. You know, it's a 3-bedroom house. When you've got 30 people in there trying to investigate, you're not going to get a video out of it.
No,
I-
no,
I wouldn't bother with it, mate. I wouldn't bother.
No,
I
No,
would.
like me,
The thing
like me
comes
and
to us
Baz, we
anyway,
just we're going to hire a hotel, but it's just going to be me and him. There won't be no one else there because it's an ongoing hotel. So
Yeah.
we book the haunted rooms that they've got and tell them that, you know, and then they say yeah, and they're really nice about it, you know. So then
Yeah.
we don't have no like problem with people contaminating and all that. I wouldn't go
Yeah.
to those paid events because I think they're just a rip off, to be honest with you. Half of
Yeah.
them, I think they're rinsed out. It's like that.
Oh,
What's that one that you guys went to over at? What was it?
The ancient Ramin.
Yeah, that Ramin, right? How many people on YouTube have done that Ramin? It's
Oh,
complete. It's
hundreds.
completely rinsed out, and I think in the end, it's just like life. The spirits think, "Oh, not again," and they don't come across, or they're just gone. They're not interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean,
35.
we're hoping. Obviously, we went to the Ram before, and we had some good stuff with the Ouija board on that night. But we didn't actually capture any, proper solid evidence. Apart from we had the face in the buggy, and
Yeah.
that was all that happened
Oh
that
yeah,
night.
I've seen that.
Yeah, we didn't have
Yeah.
much equipment.
Yeah, but yeah, we had was the camera and the K2
Yeah, pretty
back
much.
then. We didn't have no equipment, so we are hoping that we can go back there this year, because you can rent it out to yourselves. So
Yeah.
there'll be nobody else on
Grand, isn't it?
site.
It's a grand a night though.
No,
80 quid
£80.
What, for the whole night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
per person for the whole night. So me, you, and me, Carl, you, and Barry, we could all go there. It's 160 quid for all 4 of us to be there for 13 hours. There'll
Really?
be nobody else.
From,
Yeah, promise you.
7 p.m. till 8
Seriously?
a.m.
Yeah.
As well, before you go.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
so-
some of that, if that's the case, because then we
Yeah.
could split up, go out and do our own things,
Yeah.
like, you know, walk about, and then we could get together on an M1 and do it together, like, you know,
Yeah.
like we done at the prison sort of
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah, because I spoke to
I didn't know it was that cheap. It's fucking hell, it's
yeah,
cheaper
what's
than what
her
me and
name?
Baz are paying.
I can't remember her name.
Caroline Humphreys.
Yeah.
So obviously John
Oh,
Humphreys is her dad, and he passed over. But
Yeah.
Caroline now. I've spoken to her several times on email, and she said, yeah, we can have it 160 quid for the night.
It was cheaper last time.
And it would just be me and him. So if we all went, it would be 80 quid for me, 80 quid for Carl, 80 quid for you, 80 quid for Baz, and then that's it. Then you're there for 13 hours.
Fuck me, I
But
some
you
of
don't
that.
have to stay there for 13 hours.
Yeah,
No,
if you
no,
don't
of
want
course
to stay
not.
there, you can lock
Yeah.
up and put the
Yeah,
key through.
go.
Sort of thing.
Oh, that makes sense then. I thought it was about £1,000 for the night. I think we looked it up and it said something like to hire it out for yourself because I think it's Haunted Happenings that do it, isn't it, or something?
No.
No,
So Caroline, she's doing it herself.
Or herself. Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
she called
Okay.
it Go At It Alone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Go
good,
At
isn't
It
it? I mean,
Alone.
that's good.
Yeah.
That is, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can get the whole place to yourselves.
That's good. Fuck at
Yeah.
that price.
You know, and then there's microwaves on site, there's kettles, you know, so
Yeah.
you can get a bit of grub, you know, have a cup of tea, coffee, whatever.
I mean, I'd like to do it just to say that I've done it. You know what I mean? It'd
Yeah,
be nice
yeah.
to do, but me and Baz said that we ain't going to pay that. I wouldn't pay that money. Not
Gil
a thousand.
Farmer.
Jill Farmer.
Yeah. That's the person who works. No, Caroline owns the property.
It's Jill Farmer that deals with it.
Yeah, that's her best mate. Yeah, yeah,
So
Jill Farmer. I've
it
got her
is-
email.
But yeah, so I think for that price, it's definitely worth giving it a go.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
last year it was 74, this year
But,
it's 80 each.
Chloe says you should go and film in the Celebrity Castle. Is that I'm a Celebrity? Get Me Out of Here, the one that you're talking about up in Wales?
No, that's different.
Oh, that one. That's haunted, isn't it? Apparently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be extremely.
And the
haunted,
Skirrid
that
and the Skirrid Inn. I'd like to go to the Skirrid Inn.
I've always wanted to do
Yeah.
that. Scooby-Doo.
That's pretty cheap and all that one, apparently. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
Skirrid
so
Inn.
yeah, Cole's partner has just looked and
My email.
it's Sunday to Thursdays that they offer the place
But what?
just for all 4 of us if we ever wanted to go and do it
So it's
together.
It says £80 each, so it says deposit £80 and then balance due 7 days before the event.
Yeah.
yeah, so when I asked that question about the deposit and that, she said if you pay it all up front, then it's just 80 quid each. You don't have to put a
But I
deposit
guess
down.
you can book it and then you just have to pay it before you go.
Yeah, that's correct.
Each
Yeah,
week, so.
but yeah, maybe that's something that we can all do in the future. You know, in a couple of months'
Yeah,
time.
yeah, definitely do that. Yeah, do that soon because that's cheap, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because
apparently,
being funny, all these it's all right going to these free locations, like, but in the end, especially in this sort of weather, it just makes you ill, mate.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know,
Well, we went and done Hartley Maudit
right?
a couple of days ago. We went and done that place.
Yeah, we were going to
And
do that about a year or so ago, me and Baz, because we see a couple
my,
of people doing it. Yeah,
I mean, it was really like the responses we got were fantastic.
Yeah.
yeah,
But it got to like certain part of the night, and we just couldn't feel our toes.
It was
You
free.
know, we were like, we got to go. Like, we can't.
that's ridiculous. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But no, we'll definitely all link up and go and do the ram together if you want, because
Yeah, I'm
when
up
it's
for
just
that. Yeah,
when it's just 4 people, it's big enough. You know, we can do 2 parts ourselves and then do a third part. You know, link
yeah,
together sort of thing.
yeah,
You know, it's a big
yeah.
enough,
I'd be up for that. Yeah, that'd quite be a good one.
big
Yeah,
enough building. But yeah, there is a few that I want to do this year, and I want to tick off a haunted hospital. Definitely want to
yeah,
tick off a haunted hospital and
yeah,
go and
yeah.
do that. But like the one like
Oh,
Newisham, it's been done so many times.
Lewisham.
Newisham,
Oh, Lewisham. Where's that at?
yeah,
Liverpool.
Liverpool, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
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 Thinking
I've,
miles
I've,
away.
yeah, I've seen a lot of them guys from Manchester go there, like Dark Arts and all that lot go there, Dark
Yeah.
Arts TV and all that.
Barry
All that.
said in the comments that he's up for doing the Skirrid in.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
the other pub that I would love to go and do
Jamaica.
is the Jamaica Inn.
Jamaica Inn.
Oh, that's on
Jamaica Inn.
Dartmoor, isn't it? That's at
Yeah,
Dartmoor, isn't it? Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah,
there's so much
yeah,
history down there as well. Like
yeah,
if you went down there for the whole, because obviously doing a place like the Jamaica Inn, you'd sleep overnight.
yeah,
So you know you make a day of it. So you know you can even go and do another location while you're down there, a free one.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing. But Chloe says how much? How much what?
I think she meant when Dad said £1,000.
Oh, okay, fair
Oh,
enough. Yeah, possibly. But yeah, some mad locations out there to go and do in the future. Like,
Problem is where we live. Do you know what I mean? When we're down south, most of like a lot of the old good stuff is up north.
it is, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So their one's just definitely for the future. Like we can never say when
I
we're going
mean,
to do it, but we'd like to do it at some point.
there's a lot of empty ones up there. They're all falling apart, mate. I've seen a lot of them. They all go to them demolished hospitals and they've got ceilings hanging down, mould everywhere. You know,
Yeah,
I'm not being funny. There is a lot of them paranormal channels on there. I must admit with you, and they're so fake. It's unbelievable. They're like you. I mean, they're dark. Well, I won't say the name. Nearly did, but they're there. And in 1 minute they go, "Oh, just been touched. Oh, did you see that? Did you?" It's all bollocks because
yeah,
they can't back it up.
yeah,
They hear
yeah,
footsteps. They hear this. They hear bangs. But where is it? There's no replay to prove that they heard that.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
if you
Yeah.
can prove that you're hearing footsteps, you can prove that you're hearing bangs and all that. Fair enough, and growls, you can prove it. But
Yeah.
they don't even give a replay. And if they do give a replay, I'm turning my telly up. I can't hear fuck all. There's nothing.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, am I going deaf? Because I can't hear it. And they're all going, oh, that's all bollocks, mate. They're all in it together up there. There's a whole lot of them, and they all think they're Mr. YouTube. You know what I mean? We're the best and all that. It's all bollocks.
Yeah.
You know, they all got caught in the YouTube's like scenario. They all do about 2 or 3 videos a week. Got to get out there. Got to get out there. There's no way I'd be a slave to YouTube and make them rich. I won't do it no more.
Yeah.
Me and Baz
Yeah,
was doing
that's
2 a week before, and we monetise and we're making 19p. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth doing.
Yeah.
There's nothing in it, mate. There's no money in this game unless you're getting hundreds of thousands of views and you've got like loads and loads, 100, 300, or even 1 million subscribers,
yeah,
like the big boys. They're the ones who make the money.
yeah.
Not all
Yeah.
these would-bes. They're all would-be ghost hunters. They're all doing it to make money. They're not doing it for the true love of paranormal.
No, it's,
I mean,
yeah, money.
It's all to make a quick buck.
yeah, me and Baz, we love doing it because to me and Barry, if we make contact with a spirit, there's nothing better than actually
right.
talking to someone from another realm. I don't give a fuck about the views, about anything else, likes, all that doesn't interest me and Baz. All we want to do is go out, get a nice video up, but they're not just to prove to people that there is another realm after death, and that's why we do it. You know,
Yeah.
and like that place we just finished, like that Ostrich Inn, we got some mental stuff in there, and that was in
Yeah.
a building. You know what I mean? And the smell, it smelled like cheese, like death. Some of the time in it, and then it'd go. Then the action would like go down. Then it'd come back, and it'd all ramp up again. Yeah, and that
Yeah.
room that we was in was freezing, man. It was
Yeah.
like it was so cold. It was like proper paranormal in there. It
Yeah.
was just a pleasure to actually sort of get in touch with them, you know.
Yeah.
So just jump on the back on the comments quickly. Chloe
Oh,
asked,
sorry.
have you guys ever done the Hack Green nuclear bunker?
Never heard of it.
I know we haven't done it.
No, I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it. I don't know if you guys have you been there, Baz, at all?
No, we haven't done nothing like that.
No, we haven't.
No.
And Amy asks, what is the scariest thing that has happened whilst doing an investigation? I mean, for me personally, I think the most scared I've ever been was when,
George Jarvis.
well, no, in fact, I know I got scared there and
No,
obviously
when
had the
you went
scratches, but
to-
Bellish Snap.
Yeah.
when
Oh,
shadows.
The Shadows.
When we was doing the investigation at Bellish Snap and we saw the shadows coming up, I know for a fact someone was coming up behind me, and as I panned the camera, there was nothing there, and on camera I was just like I proper shit it. So that was the scariest thing for me. What about yourself? Like, what was the scariest thing you've ever been on location?
George Jarvis.
George Jarvis.
When we were filming, but all right, it was pitch black. But when we had those two stones, like they were quite big thuds as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You could tell they'd been thrown, not, something fell from the ceiling. It was because you can't see anything. Do you know what I mean? And you just hear this massive like bang.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely makes you jump.
Yeah.
Mate.
What about yourself, Baz? What was the Amy asks, what was the scariest thing that's ever happened to you whilst doing an investigation?
Well, for me and Baz, we didn't realise at the time, but we was over that Eston graveyard, and Barry, as I was walking out, Barry was filming round, and it's 3 months later. We was going over the video, and we caught this black shadow sort of coming out of this top of this cross of the gravestone,
Yeah.
and it just swept across like that, and then just disappeared. And
Bloody hell.
that put me and Barry out of the game for 7 months. We weren't going to do it no more.
Yeah.
It really freaked us out because that's such a
Yeah.
demonic graveyard. But anyway, we've been back there so many times now. But every time we go back there, 9 times out of 10 we catch shadows, and we caught one that was between 2 trees, and there again we didn't
Yeah.
see it until one of our subscribers sent us a text saying like, "Oh, there's a figure, you've missed it," and they give us a timestamp, and you could see it. It was running like that, looked like the running man between 2 trees. Got to the
Bloody
other
hell.
side of the tree, down like that, then it stood up like that, and it's looking at us like that. It's a big black figure.
I'm not gonna lie.
That is over at Heston, and that graveyard there has been kind to me and Baz, and that was one of the freakiest places we've been to. But I love it.
Yeah.
It just keeps calling us back, you know. We'll have to take you guys there.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's a really, you get so much action there. It's unbelievable.
I mean,
I
every
mean, you can
video.
go off. It's big enough for you to go and do yourself on one. Then we just meet up again. You know,
Yeah.
you'll get action all round that place.
Yeah.
I tell you what I'm going to do,
Yeah.
Baz. If you're watching, son, I'm going to get off. Let you come on for half hour, and then whatever. I'll jump back on again or whatever. Yeah.
Just quickly, Leah says the only thing that scares Cole is the word ring. And
yeah, I like that. I did read that in the comments. That's a good one. I like that.
Barry says a freaky moment for us was when the device told us, Barry, be careful.
Oh yeah, that as well. Fuck me, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
You also got told to F off, didn't you, as well?
Yeah, that was at St Lawrence. We had to come across it. It says, get to fuck or something like that. Get fucked or something. I can't remember. Get to fuck or something like that. It was.
No,
Yeah,
You've never had
freaked us
anything
out.
like that.
not had words like that.
Nothing like that.
But, I mean, one of the best ones for responses
Yeah,
was
not
Minster
to F
Lovell.
off.
We done that Minster Lovell, and it actually came through on the necrophonic, it told the whole story of the history.
Mm.
That told the whole lot on that thing. Couldn't believe it coming through. It blowing us away. Couldn't
Crazy.
believe it. It was coming through. Got locked up in a tower. Fucking hide and seek. Christmas Eve. Lord Lovell
Yeah.
locked in the vault, and that's all the
Yeah.
history of it. It was coming through.
That's
Honestly,
mad.
that blew us away. That investigation. God.
Bloody Nora.
That was that Mr. Lovell we told you about to come to, didn't we?
Yeah,
In Oxford,
yeah.
remember?
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
worth going.
yeah. Well, maybe we can all link up and do that place again. You know, it's
Yeah.
Kingsbrook. It's got a lot of history there and a lot of promising spirits that would actually come through and talk to you.
Yeah. Oh, they
So-
do there. I tell you, they do, because they've got a river right behind it, and all, and there's woods behind there that me and Barry want to go and do in there as well.
Well, it always says they always do say that
That's Gina just coming.
River
water.
gives energy. Gives
Yeah,
it
it
energy.
does,
Charges it up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Barry just commented on there, and it said the necrophonics told you to go fuck yourself. It said.
It's
And-
yeah. It would, yeah.
He said, ask my dad about Sutton Venny. That's what he
Oh,
said.
fuck me. That's Sutton Vaney, mate. Honestly, that was crazy. That was another well, they got abandoned sort of church place.
Yeah.
And we went there, like, and what a crazy night. The shadows there. We caught. I don't know if you've seen the video. We caught
Yeah.
so many shadows there, and
Is
And
that
it
the one
came
where you
through-
sat on the bench?
Huh?
And you keep going. Is that the one where you sat on the bench and you keep going, and again, and again?
oh no, that was Felton Graveyard. That one. That was
Okay.
another one with loads. That was
I think-
loads. But this Sutton Vaney, we was catching on the static, running across, walking up to the door, and then yeah, it was a crazy night, and it came through with the guy's name there as well, and malt safe. A malt safe is what they put over a gravestone to stop the grave robbers in the old days taking
Yeah.
the bodies. And this was the metal. It was the only one in there, and it came up on the thing, malt safe. You know, and this woman kept saying, "Come over, come here. I want to talk." And we kept catching all these shadows, which well, you don't see them until you start editing.
Yeah.
And Barry said to me, "Fucking hell, Dad, there's so many shadows on this." And there really was. There's big ones. If we'd seen them, I don't know how we would have felt. You know,
Yeah.
you get
Yeah,
into the
Barry-
moment, didn't you? You know.
Barry's just said at the bottom of the chat there, he said the title of the video is called Shadows of Sutton Venny. So guys,
it,
if you're
yeah.
watching this and you're
Yeah.
new, please jump over to Haunted Seekers when you've
That's a
got a
crazy
minute.
one.
Go and check out that video. Whack a thumbs up on it and make sure that you like and subscribe their videos as well for me, please.
Oh, that's nice,
Amy
is it?
says, I like the video you guys done in the World War graveyard, and they were replying with your questions with the equipment. I do miss the live videos. Yeah,
Oh, that one. Yeah.
we do miss going live and doing the live videos, don't we? But a lot of the places, it really frustrates me because it's 2024, yet you can't get signal in half the
Yeah.
country. You know, it's absolutely it's painful, mate, because you know we the many occasions we've set up a live and been like we're on location, we're going live, and you just physically can't because there's no signal, and it's you know it must be it's horrible for us to do it like that. But it is what it is. It
Yeah.
is
Well,
what it
listen,
is.
I'm gonna jump off and let Baz come on for a little while and have a chat with you
Yep.
guys. Okay, and I'll
Alright.
probably see you again in a minute, but I'll be watching anyway.
Yeah, no worries.
Alright.
I'll try and set
Thanks,
it so I
everyone.
can get Baz up now.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just get off then.
No worries.
All right. Cheers.
Hey, Baz.
Cheers, buddy. Right, guys, bear with me.
So let's just get Barry Jr. on.
I'm just going to add another. And he should jump up in a second, guys. I've just sent it. Leah, take some clean underwear.
Hey, here he is.
Right.
There he is.
Yeah, good watch. Good watch. Yeah.
How
Oh,
you doing? All right.
I
So
tell
I'm
you
not
what,
too. I'm
mate.
not too close to the screen, am I? Shall I sit back a bit? Is that
No,
better?
no,
You're all good, mate.
you're golden.
Alright.
We can just see your forehead.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Cheers for that, Daz. Cheers, mate.
But
Yeah,
yes,
so-
guys, this is Barry. I know we were just talking to Barry. That is Barry's dad. This is Barry Jr. and he's the other half of Haunted Seekers. So it's nice to have both of them on tonight.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
been a pleasure, mate.
yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
so-
been a while as well, hasn't
likewise.
it? It's been a while now. It's been a few months.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, I think the last one we done together was Portland Tunnels, wasn't it?
I believe so. Yeah, that's got.
Yeah,
to
that's
It's got to be 6
that's a
months.
while ago now.
Yeah,
September.
I'd say it's about 6 months ago.
at least.
Yeah, I think it was August time.
Because in October they were shutting it, weren't they?
Yeah, well, so they say, or so they said, but there was problems with this. Do you remember they were getting the immigrants on that boat?
That's
sort of
right,
with
yeah,
this-
that's why they were
they were
closing them,
talking about it closing then, but I can't see it closing, to be honest. You know,
Well,
maybe I'm
I
wrong,
know
but
there was a video that was put on YouTube about 6 weeks ago. It wasn't an investigation; it was just an explore. And they was at the tunnels, and it was all open. So
yeah,
I'm
there you
pretty
go.
sure,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
So-
you can get back in there.
because my dad told me, I think he said that you told him. So obviously my dad's told me, but about Shepton Mallet, how the bodies were exhumed, so, you know, like were brought up
Mhm.
after 100 years, and they shut it for power. You know, shut the prison down. I was looking online the other day at Shepton Mallet, and yeah, it seemed like there's everything's still on, like the opening days, you know, tours, ghostly tours, and
Yeah.
stuff
So
like
for
that.
this year, it will finally shut its doors at the end of this year.
Ah, the end
So
of this year,
at the
right?
end of this year, so there's still like, well, what are we now? February. So there's still 10 months
10 months
to,
left,
to
yeah.
be able to get in
That
there.
might be worth going back to. That might be one worth going back to.
Yeah,
And, oh,
definitely.
another one. This is a brilliant one. Several people have done it, obviously, but is Oxford Castle. So Oxford
Mm.
Castle, it's not it's Oxford Prison, really,
Yeah.
and it's a
It's the
hundred
gallows,
and
isn't it?
you are.
The gallows.
Yeah, well, it's got
Oxford
everything.
Castle and gallows.
What it is, you can for 5 people. If you pay for 5 people, I think it's 138. The total amount is £685. A lot of money, but if there's 4 of us. And I said to my dad, like, if he's watching, I'm sure he's like, no, I'm not doing that. But no, we did say, like, for the 5th ticket, me and my dad would pay for that. And so you'd have the whole prison to yourself.
Yeah. That's
So
pretty mad, isn't it?
between 7 and half 2, obviously in the morning, you'd have the
Yeah.
whole prison to yourself. So we could walk around. We could split up, set up statics. There's no contamination with people or tourists or whatever. And we'd have the whole place ourselves. And it's £138 each. But
not
for the
bad,
5th
really.
ticket, that's brilliant. I thought, because I've been looking at private hire, things like
Yeah.
that sort of thing, and yeah, some's extortionate amounts, and you think, oh, I can't really do that. But
Yeah.
some does surprise you really, and you think, oh
Yeah.
well,
Well, I say
it's doable.
I have been looking at like indoor locations for us to go and do this year, and obviously there's so many, but it depends on what company you go with. There could be 10 people, there could be 30 people. But if you want to do a private location where it's just me and him, I've even found some really nice looking old cottages, and it's on Airbnb. But if you go on Airbnb and type in haunted Airbnb, it brings up
Right.
the haunted locations for the B&Bs that you can stay in.
Oh,
And obviously,
yeah, see,
the further north you go, the cheaper it does become. But
yeah,
you're looking at around about £250 for the night. But when you split the cost between 3 or 4 people, or 2 or 3 people, it's actually like 60, 70 quid each, which
yeah, it doesn't work out to be that much. Yeah,
it doesn't, yeah. And obviously that's a good way of getting around it, where you don't need to then go and get your public liability insurance and stuff.
yeah,
You
that's
don't need
true.
anything like that. So it saves you a lot of money in the long run.
I mean, the
Um,
longest part of going north, sort of thing, would be the travelling. You
yeah,
know,
that's right.
which it's doable. And we was going to go up north last year. There was a church. It's like a demonic church. It's free to get in. Obviously, it's sort of like an abandoned church. That's when we was doing all the ruins. And I forgot the name of it now, but it's a proper eerie sort of place and everything. And people, if I get the name for it, I'll send you the link and have
Yeah.
a look. But I think it's in Lancaster or somewhere like that. And we just never got round to it. And
Yeah.
but yeah, it looked really creepy and all that sort of stuff. And people have obviously, when they're doing their investigations, they caught stuff on there. But yeah, we're sort of trying to aim closer to home at the minute and
Yeah,
work our
yeah.
way out eventually. But in this time of year, we're trying to stay out of the cold, because last year we was like, I think when we went to Southampton graveyard near the Common, the big one, 27
Yeah.
acres. We went there, was doing that in -2. And
Yeah.
things like that in
Well,
February, I think.
it's not good for it's not good for us, and it's not good for the equipment neither.
No, and
you
I
know, like-
find, it's not. No, it's not. You're right. Things drain quicker. The batteries all
Yeah.
drain quick. But I
and
find,
you
and of course,
start getting condensation in like the sensibles and stuff, and it just mucks
Ex-
about with it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's all that sort of stuff, and more than that, it's like I find it could just be a coincidence. But in the cold weather, it's like they don't like coming through. You know, that's just
Because they're cold.
Yeah. that's just an assumption, but that's how it seems with us. It seems like but and yet again, it
There's
all
no
depends where.
spirits there because they've all buggered off to Costa's to go and get a nice cup of coffee. That's what happened.
yeah, yeah. But no, so overall, how are you getting on with your lives and all that sort of thing? You're liking it? What you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite.
Well, it originally come about then because obviously my work and obviously we've got like families and that, and you know we did a lot last year, nearly every single week, just like your guys, like
Yeah,
yourself.
doesn't it drain you mentally? It does drain you,
Yeah,
doesn't
it
it?
does drain you, and like towards the end of last year, I was just kind of knackered from it. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So
Plus,
we
like you say,
kind of,
working.
yeah, and we kind of sat down, didn't we? And we thought, what else can we do? And we just thought, instead of going out, you know, we can still be with our families and we can
Yeah,
do this.
yeah, exactly.
know?
It's good. Yeah, it's a good
I think-
concept.
I think last year we've done something stupid like 48 locations in 52 weeks. So that's nearly
Wow.
every single weekend. It's a lot.
Yeah, no, it is.
Like, it is
And
a
then
lot.
you're dedicating your whole life to it, which, you know, is a good thing. But at the same time, you know, you want to step. I always find that when we go on long runs of doing like location, after a while, literally it drains you emotionally. And I
Yeah.
find that taking some time out, just, you know, even if it's maybe a month or something, this is how I see it. Take a month out, recharge your batteries. When you go back into it, you're full of enthusiasm.
Yeah.
You're ready to go
Right
again.
Yeah.
And then I find that like you get more. I could be wrong, but for us it seems like this. But you kind of get more evidence that way because
Well,
you're fully
yeah.
charged. They can drain. They can thrive off you. You know, when you're
Exactly.
when you're
Spirits,
emotionally
they
tired.
go off energy. Don't they?
You
The
are-
spirits will go off your energy.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know,
That's
and they
it.
can tell if you're not fully into it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
they're not going to come through, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we had 4.5 months off, I think, just before the ostrich in, and yeah, you know, like when we went to the ostrich, we was really up for it. You know, it's like our first time out again, and it paid off. You know, so
Yeah.
you know, so it's like I say, for us anyway, that's the way it works for us. And we're going to start doing it monthly now.
Yeah.
And if probably in the warmer weather might pick up the pace again, but yeah, for now, just monthly as it is because we find it suits us like that. But yeah,
No,
for us,
good.
yeah, for us last year, I'll be quick. Sorry, we done the ruin. We was all doing ruins last year, and we was kind of running out of places to go. Then
Yeah.
the year before that was all graveyards and stuff. And yeah, you know, don't be wrong, they're great. You know, you do get a lot of evidence there because that's your last port of call, isn't it? You know, graveyard.
Mhm.
But then there's only so many you can do before it gets a little bit samey. Just
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
my preference. But yeah, you know, there's loads of places about, and I think like what you're going back to what your original point. If we can all chip in, and then you know get a place wherever it is. I mean, was it you was talking about the Ram Inn, for
Yeah.
example?
The ramen. Yeah, so it'll be 80 quid per person.
That's brilliant.
You get 13 hours there. Obviously there's toilet, Wi-Fi, microwave, free teas and coffees, blah blah blah. And you're there. So you know, even when all your equipment drains and dies, you can just plug it all in, charge it all
Exactly.
Have time to eat,
You
have
know,
a drink,
that's
chill
it.
out,
Yeah.
and then get back to it.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
have a nap. Yeah,
You know.
In the bishop's room.
yeah, that's it. Yeah. Amy says in the comments, have you guys got any new equipment, and have you got any plans of getting any new equipment, and if so, what?
Yeah.
For
Oh, go
me, I'm hoping that we can get some sort of spirit chatter, like a proper spirit chatter, like a Novulus or something, you know, maybe a little bit cheaper. I've just learned how to build REM pods, so I've just finished building my first REM pod. It went off for us a couple of times as well the other night.
Oh, good.
So that was good. But what you know, if you could,
Thing is, there's so much stuff out there.
there isn't there? Yeah, it's
Do you know what I mean? You've got to try and get stuff that you think is going to work on locations for you. You
Yeah.
know?
And I
for
think
me-
it depends like where you are. as well. So
Exactly.
if you're indoors, you don't need so much. And I think anywhere, I don't think you need that. You just need what you, for example, if you're outside and you're walking around, you know, you can limit your stuff. But when you're indoors, you can just set up, leave it. And I always, sometimes I'm guilty of it. We can all buy sometimes too much, and you don't always use it. There's stuff in the bag that I forget about, and I'm thinking, shit, I could have used that tonight.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, going back to your point though, Cole. Yeah, no, it depends what you want to use and if you need it for that night.
That's it, yeah. And Barry also just says in the comments there, we will go and do the Ram, but only if Carl wears John Humphrey's leather jacket.
No
Yeah.
way, mate. No way.
Yeah, the succubus.
Yeah,
No, mate.
Oh,
No, mate.
don't. Because I watched him, because of course he's passed now, but I watched him years ago when Zach Bagans went there,
that's
and it was
correct.
like some scraggly old man, obviously John, who opened the door and that, and I thought, is this guy for real? But yeah, he was sort of saying all this stuff. I won't go into detail, but all this stuff about the succubus and himself, and I was thinking, don't really know how to
But the
take this
thing is,
guy.
though, is-
But
It's like I know, like some of his stories can come across and be a bit far fetched, but the fact that he lost his wife and kids, you know, not because they passed away. I've definitely
He
mentioned
chose
that.
to
yeah,
stay there.
no, I know what you
He
mean.
chose to stay there and they left. So he obviously he felt a really passionate connection with that building.
Yeah.
And I mean, when we went there, I mean, everything, you know, every single thing that he ever accumulated in his life is in that building.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, he's still in there now.
still there.
How he left it.
How he left it. The day he died, they haven't changed a thing.
No.
Yeah.
So all his jackets are there, all his photos, all his furniture, everything. So if you watch a video like when Zach Bagans went there, for example, to watching our latest video on it, everything's exactly the same. Nothing's changed in 15 years.
Yeah.
Not one
Wow.
thing.
Yeah,
it's
and also you've got to
phenomenal
remember as
building.
well, like from their point, the family's point, it's also a money spinner, which is good
Yes.
for them. You know, they
Yeah.
can, you know, because paranormal's taken off, they know that they can just every week they're at bookings, and that's a good thing for them. You know, so
Yeah.
in John's memory, they're keeping it alive. If that makes sense.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. It's
And it said Barry just said it's strange how John never comes through.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, I find that fascinating. But you never know. Like maybe he might come through one day. It might.
You
It
never
might
know.
be the right people there.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, that's
You know?
true.
It might take someone as big and brave as the Spirit Brothers and all the Seekers to finally get John to speak. You never know.
So yeah, you never know. It might take your REM pod for him to come through.
Yeah,
Your
that's
new
it.
one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
how
that's
are you
it.
getting on with them? You finding it okay? Like
It's
the builds?
surprisingly easy. Like I didn't realise. So do you know how the REM pod come about and where it all originated from?
It's a Russian bloke, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it all originated
Thermal.
through the
Something
theremin.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, the theremin, the musical instrument.
Yeah.
And obviously you just add a couple of speakers and you add a couple of LEDs and this, that, and the other, and away you go. Galcac, hello, welcome to the chat. Thank you. Yeah, so basically what I've been doing is my wife treated me to everything that I needed. Like the hot glue gun,
it's a trigger
the
isn't it?
There you go.
the solder iron. I've got the whole shebang for it now. So yeah,
How
like
many have you made now then? How many have you made?
I've made one at the moment.
Okay.
I've made one at the moment, and I've got an order. So hopefully it should come through in the next sort of 5-6 days.
Okay.
Where I'm going to start building like treasure boxes, REM pods.
Okay, yeah, and the coffins.
Yeah, in the coffins and stuff. So what I'm going to do with the treasure box is I'm going to try and make 2 in 1. So it's got 2 aerials coming out of it, and I'm going to have one green LED, one red LED, and that's almost going to be like a yes/no REM pod.
Right, clever, yeah.
And
yeah.
it's something that's not on the market. You know, it's something that you can't buy. So we're going to have an original.
And if you do buy them, for example, like they're just extortionate amounts, like the yes/no
are
boxes.
extortionate.
You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
So,
and
but
like
yeah,
I said,
that's
you know,
good.
even your old man said, you know, build 10 and then put them up for sale because they will fly out.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah,
and eventually, if you can do that, that's going to pay for locations for us to go and do it.
absolutely. Yeah,
Stuff
and
like this and
petrol.
that,
You know,
know,
things
and
like that.
petrol,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
and our kebabs, because we do eat a lot of kebabs. But,
Yeah. Well,
but
go on. Sorry,
so
go on.
whilst I've got you on it, Baz, what was your first ever paranormal experience?
Or what was the reason why you got into the
Well,
paranormal?
yeah, I'll start with why first, because that's always with me. Even as a kid, I was always spiritual, but I didn't understand it. I didn't know what that was. So, like, I've always been spiritual in mind.
Yeah,
But I had a friend, a good friend. I won't go into too much detail, but I'll skim over the surface. He died when I was 20 years old, and
I-
so
I
I
do
kind of.
believe. Yeah.
Please.
Oh, go on.
Thank you,
No, I was just going to say, I do remember you telling us when we was
Yeah.
at
So
Northern Churches. So
yeah,
yeah, like, I'll let you
I,
continue though.
I spoke to her. I spoke to a medium, and she was telling me stuff only me and him knew. And I don't know this woman from Adam, and she was telling me all this stuff. And at the time, I was a little bit, I don't know, I don't know. Maybe she's just lucky. I don't know. And so I was just putting it to one side, and I was very sort of like sus with it, and I was just dismissing it. And it's not until about I don't know, 6 months in, maybe a year in, when she's telling me all this stuff. She was even telling me people that I'd meet that would be in the future with a
Mhm.
certain name. Like, for example, you'd meet a woman called M. She'd be in your life soon. And I was thinking, what? Is she quite crazy? I didn't understand it. And then a, a woman down my road who moved in, I knew her from London, and her name was Michelle. So there's all these little things that are like, it's all stuck, the dot connects. I was putting all,
Yeah,
and it's painting a
starting
picture
to
then.
connect all the jigsaw then.
Yeah, and so I
Yeah,
really start, and she was saying to me that like your friend's trying to come through, but you're not open to it. You don't realise that he's trying to come through, and at a certain time of night, they always believe that a certain time of night where
you got
the
the witches
veils,
out.
yeah, where the veil's thinner, they can come through. It's easier for
Mhm.
them to come through where it's quieter. And my alarm, smoke alarm would start going off at a certain time of night. I'd put like that 2 in the morning. So I just thought, oh, it's one of them testers when the battery's running out, but it was electric. And there's just certain things she'd tell me, and I thought then I started getting more and more spiritual and started really believing it more than what I ever did. So that was the
Yeah,
kind of belief side of things. And I've always been into paranormal, but not realised how much. And it's not until me and my dad went out that I thought, oh, I love what I'm doing. Might not be right. I don't know what I'm doing here. It might be, because our first ever video was, I don't know, 2021. And I just love the fact that we was kind of filming ourselves, putting it on YouTube. So that was a platform for us to watch our own videos.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
all of a sudden, now where we are now, moving forward, we've created this community. People like message us and they message each other like in the
Yeah,
chat and stuff. And it's kind of nice. And I think to myself, sit back and you think, we've created that,
yeah, yeah.
through our channel, and you're doing the same thing. And it's,
Mhm.
yeah, it's a lot to be said for that. But yeah, like I say, so yeah, going back to your original question, yeah, that's how it really started. Was I've always been in tune with the spiritual side, even as a young kid, but not realised
Mhm.
what it was. As I got older, I got more into it that way, especially when my friend died. And yeah, it's I used to do like little EVPs, and I heard his voice. I'd say,
Yeah,
"Oh, tell me your tell." His nickname was Robbo, and I'd sort of say, "Tell me your nickname. If that's you, Michael, tell me your nickname." And it come through Robbo, and I was
right.
just, yeah. My dad was with me in my flat here, and I didn't hear it at first. My dad told me, and he dropped the phone almost, and I was like, "What did that say?" So I replayed it, and it said Robbo. And it just blew my mind. I just thought,
Fucking hell.
how can we connect? How is it possible, humanly
Yeah,
possible, to connect with another realm? And that's what fascinates us. It really, that
yeah,
for me, forget money on YouTube and all that sort of thing. That is the pot of gold, really. It's the
yeah.
contact.
It's the Holy Grail, isn't it? You know.
It is,
Well,
yeah.
when we feel like we're connecting with a spirit, ghost, whatever, the feeling we get is just like it's just amazing, that you can still contact someone that's
Yeah,
passed,
They
you
could
know.
be hundreds of years old from
yeah,
another
well, yeah,
century, and
and
they're
that,
coming
I just
through.
find it fascinating. Like, I've not actually got any words to describe how I feel in that moment,
Mm.
but like I just find it fascinating that we as living human beings can contact or still have communication, or like, I don't even know how
Re-
to explain it, but
Reach out to another realm.
yeah, and it just fascinates me. Like some of the responses that we get I mean, you know yourselves, everyone's we've been doing it a long time now, where you do get a lot of gobbledygook.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
especially the
generally
Latin
believe
words
that,
at the time. Do you remember the Latin words all coming through? It was a bit like,
yeah,
what's that? But yeah, I know
yeah.
what you mean. Yeah,
But
when it
I
makes
also
sense.
think that maybe when you've got like 6 or 7 Latin words coming through, maybe they're talking to each other.
It could well be. Yeah,
It's not actually
yeah,
supposed to be for us. That's for them to communicate with each other. That's the way, you know.
yeah.
But when you ask like a direct question, like the other night we was out and we was filming down at the World War bunker, and Carl said, "Did you die in the war?" And straight away, nope. And it's
Yeah, so
it's just
that
fascinating and
that note, what you were just saying there about like the immediate contact, the direct response,
direct response.
that is when you
That's
can
what's really
say, yeah,
bad.
that's if it comes through. I'm not, don't be wrong, I understand there's a bit of a delay sometimes and all that sort of thing, but if it come up just a random word, totally random to what you're asking, we always ignore that because we're like, that's not really what we're asking. When it
Yeah,
comes through relevant at that precise point, you can go
yeah,
by that and go, right, that makes sense. And we can
yeah,
then you can ask more questions from what it's telling you. You can go, okay, well, I know, like for example, it's told us certain names before, Richard Bailey at Sutton Vaney. Bars, but yeah, Richard Bailey at Sutton Vaney, for example, it's told us certain names coming through, and we're like, we can go off that then and sort of say, okay, and it if there's nothing, you can't. You're just talking to, which you do anyway. You're
yeah.
talking. That's another thing as well. When you're talking, that's quite a skill in its own because you're talking to thin air, really. But
That's
when
it.
nothing comes through and you have a quiet night, you can go, okay, well, nothing's happened. But when responses come through on point, you can go by that and go, okay, well, they've just said this. We can go off that now, and it leads a pattern, and
Yeah,
and so you can go off that. But yeah,
yeah,
no,
that's
we've
right.
had.
Yeah,
So just going off of what you just said there, you remember we was doing the Ouija at the prison?
oh, it checked your malice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we come in contact with a female spirit, and she was telling us bit by bit that she stabbed her lover.
Oh, okay.
And it was just amazing how we was able to get this female spirit telling us that she killed her lover
yeah,
with a knife.
yeah, with a knife. Yeah.
You know, it
And
was
then the planchette fucked off, didn't it?
flew off the
Yeah,
Oh,
table.
did
fucked
it?
off. I shit
Um,
myself. Because
it's-
I know they say you're not supposed to take your fingers off. Because
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
But what are you supposed to do when the planchette leaves the table?
Hmm.
Like can't go with
Yeah,
it. Can you?
I know what you're saying, and plus it's mind blowing as well
Yeah,
because it's like they're channeling into you because they
yeah,
want to speak directly speak to you, and that
yeah,
alone you've got to feel privileged about.
yeah.
That they directly want to speak to you.
And like I
And
said, we always try and be respectful as well because
you have to be.
they were living and breathing just like me and you are.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
even murderers. For example,
Yeah,
like last 2 weeks ago, no, last week, wasn't it? The Ostrich Inn. Well, it's 2 weeks ago
Mm.
we went, but part two was last week. But
Mhm.
anyway, so when we went there with the murderers, obviously the landlords, they were like murderers, serial killers, really. And when we were talking to them, we'd always talk with respect. You have to, because
yeah,
some people online, I've seen it before, where they're like, "Come on, show yourself. You're a coward. You're this. You're that." Never speak to them like that, because when their life's over,
Thought-provoking, isn't they?
that you have to speak how you'd want to be spoken to yourself,
That's
whether
right.
they're bad or not. You know.
yeah. No,
Um,
we've had it before where we went to a lunatic cemetery down in Fareham in Portsmouth.
Mm.
And that was a very active night for us. But like a lot of the people that were buried there, they were child molesters, they were murderers, they were
yeah,
criminally insane. But we don't judge. We're not
you
there.
can't. That's the thing. That's the
We're not
word.
there
You
to
can't
talk about
judge.
their
You can't
crimes or
judge.
anything like that. We're there to just try and find out that there's more to life than what we know.
Yeah, their life's
But,
over now. Their life's
yeah,
finished now. So you've got to
Mm.
respect it.
exactly.
Even, like you say, no matter how bad they are. I mean, like you said, they're
Mm. Well, they
molesters.
were.
Yeah,
And so they're probably the worst of the worst. But at the same time, you've
Mm.
got to speak to all the spirits with respect. And there's so
Yeah.
many people who don't. And
yeah.
then they wonder why they don't get no response or
Right.
like a direct
And yeah, your
response.
dad just put in the comments there. It's really special when you connect. It's overwhelming and special.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
I mean, like you just said, the feeling you get is just like
Oh, yeah.
unbelievable, isn't it?
It's
Like
like
from a
you've just
time
struck
talking
gold.
to
Do you
someone,
know what I mean? It really
you
is,
know.
yeah.
yeah. And like the last video that not the last video that we've done, but our latest video that's currently out now. we actually caught a clear face. Like it is clear as day. And, like, when you slow it down frame by frame, you can clearly see, that someone was there trying to manifest. In
Oh, okay, yeah.
the
Was that
response,
the Warden's Tunnel? Like the storage, like in Grovely, or was that like the
Up
one you?
up in Grovely Woods,
Yeah, the bunker.
at the
Yeah,
bunker.
yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant. Grovely, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was phenomenal. Like it was amazing. But Leah put in the comments, the best thing I saw was on Celebrity Help My House is Haunted. Last week, the spirit made contact with them by ringing the celebrity's house phone.
Wow.
mean,
Well,
that-
again, bigger spirits, they can manipulate electronics.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
Well, of course
you
they
know?
can. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's amazing. Lindsay says she's going to have to watch it. And ask Barry about the EVP we caught at Sutton Veney. So, what was
Who's-
the EVP that you caught at Sutton Veney?
Oh, yeah. So that's my dad talk. Yeah. No, what it was, we done an EVP and was calling out Richard Bailey. The guy actually said his name to us, and then we was asking. I can't remember the exact how it was phrased, but the question was more along the lines of, "Was it you who were in contact with?" Or no, sorry, tell a lie. It was, "Are you with your family?" And it said, "Sure I am." Clear as day, clear as
Bloody
day.
hell.
So clear, but on response, and you could hear it in real time. My dad thought it was me, it wasn't, and I was like, nah. But sometimes you ask, when something bizarre happens like that or so unreal, you sort of
Yeah.
you're in shock a bit. So you might sort of say, "Was that you?"
It sort of
But-
takes you back a little bit, doesn't it?
It does. It startles you, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
in real time, on the video, even if you listen to it, you can actually hear in real time as it's being played, sure, as
Bloody
clear as
hell,
day.
crazy.
And it was crazy. It was pretty scary, that place, because by the time we got back to the car, I had to do a thumbnail for the
Hello,
for the
Luke.
video.
Oh, yeah.
So I zoomed back. I obviously had to, turn around to take a picture, and that place, it's so eerie. I don't know how we stayed so long. It was, it's a really good place, by the way. They got I think they called it in. By the way, part of the church thing's still open. I think they call it a chancel, but
Yeah.
it's open to the public daily. But that's the only part. The rest of it's all ruins because it was all the foundations sunk. So they built a new church down the road. But
Yeah.
it was brilliant. If you ever get a chance to, please, do go and do Sutton Vaney. It's amazing. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
we'll definitely look into it.
100%.
I think the best EVP we ever captured was it wasn't too far from here actually. We had the EVP set down and literally it come through saying it's me, and it was clear as
Well,
day.
Well, on the Spirit Talker app, the name come through saying Phaja.
Okay.
So we googled that name, and it was
A Danish.
a Danish.
soldier.
Oh, I've
Savage
seen that
name.
video. Yeah.
And then I think we asked on the EVP, Phaja, are you here, or was that you, or something?
Yeah.
And then in the reply, we got, "It's me."
Yeah.
Unbelievable. We've never had anything like it, have we?
No, yeah, it was one of them moments. Like it was
We
like
were just like,
I know what you mean.
I think we listened to it back for a good 5 minutes. We just kept listening to it, pausing it, rewinding it, listening to it, pausing it, rewinding. It was
So
one
let
of
me
them.
ask you two a question then. What's your most sinister place you've done since you started?
I mean, since we started,
"Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, for
That's a
me,
good question."
I think the most sinister place for me was George Jarvis because I was scratched.
Oh
And
yes, yeah.
I had seven or eight scratch marks running from my shoulder to the
Did you
base of
feel
my
it at the
spine.
time? Did you feel it, or did you just not realise at the time and just look later and it was like,
Well-
you see the
Well,
red
you
mark?
know when you watch these paranormal programs on TV and they go, "Oh, I feel like I'm burning," and then they look and then there's a mark or a
Oh,
scratch.
it's like that.
Yeah,
Well,
so
he did that. And when he was saying that to me, I was like, "Well, hang on a minute. I've heard this before on TV." And I said, "Lift up the top, let's have a look." And bugging me, there it was, bang, scratches.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
And like for me, it literally like I felt as though like it started getting my back was a little bit itchy, and I thought nothing of it.
Right.
It carried on filming, and then it got a bit warmer, and then it got warmer and warmer and warmer, and then to the point where I said to him, I was like, it honestly, it felt like somebody had like a hot knife and just run it down the back of my back.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, there's an image of it online somewhere.
No,
I
I
had,
have seen it. You was doing the lives then, weren't you?
yeah, we was
Yeah,
we was live.
yeah, I've
That's the
seen
other
that.
thing, we was live. You know, so there was no editing involved or anything.
No.
Like, we was live.
Yeah.
And I had 7 scratch marks from my shoulder to the base of my spine. And there's no way you can get your hand in that sort of position.
So
To,
not only that, you don't have nails.
well, no, I chew them. Yeah,
That's
and holes in shot at all times. So
because I remember that you was in that room looking. Look, you weren't looking out the window, but obviously it's like a little room. Obviously, you upstairs somewhere, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And you was
yeah.
in there asking questions, and that's when the
Yeah.
next thing you looked and seen your back. But
Yeah.
yeah, so you'd say that's the most sinister then?
I would say so. Like for me, it stuck in my mind for a long time because, like, if you know, like when you scratch your own arm or like if your girlfriend runs her nails down your back, it sort of fades within a couple of hours. Well, this was on my back for a good 10 to 12 days.
Yeah.
Like it was phenomenal. Like, what
Wow.
was your sinister?
Yeah. What was yours, Cole?
Better snap.
Belly Snap? Yeah,
Better snap.
Where's that?
Shadows of Better snap.
the Shadows
Oh.
of Banner Snap, the tomb that we done up in
Day drinking dinner.
oh, where is it? It's up near Marlborough sort of way, I think. Out that sort of
Okay.
way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you
But-
know that talking of George Jarvis School, next to it they got a nunnery. They've got
Yeah.
a nunnery. It's probably part of the school, I'm not sure, because it's not probably an old but it's an old convent or a nunnery they call it. And yeah, you can hire that out as well, private as well.
Oh, that
so
would be worth a look at.
Yeah.
yeah.
be worth
So
a look.
where is that? How far is that?
Sorry,
How
Gloucestershire. It's about 2.5 hour drive from where we are.
Oh, that ain't too bad. I was thinking
too
further,
far.
but yeah, that's not far.
I think it's not the drive into it; it's the coming home. Because when you leave there at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're not walking back through the door until 6:30 in the morning,
Yeah, it's a long one, isn't it?
it does take it out.
Can you leave earlier and get home earlier, or
Oh yeah, you can leave anytime you want. You know, you don't have
Yeah.
to stay there. It was just because it was one of our first locations filming.
Yeah.
We felt like we had
and
to
was
stay
other
there till
people
the
there? I
end.
suppose other people were there as well, were they? Like
Yeah,
a group?
they were, yeah.
Yeah, well, we had.
Yeah.
I think we paid 60 quid each, and we had the plates from 9 o'clock at night until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Oh, that's
I
that's
mean,
good.
It's a
Yeah.
long time, and we spent a couple of hours just on our own, going off doing our own thing. But I would like
Yeah.
to go back there, especially now we've got more equipment.
Yeah,
Mm.
unfinished business.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
because a lot of these places, when you know, you can't stay there forever. You have to go home at some point.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what I find with certain locations that we go to is that it throws up more questions than answers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it
I
always does.
I
And some
feel
of the
as though
answers
I've
are
got to
vague.
go back, and then I think to myself, well, do we go back? Shall we go back? Because people don't want to be seeing the same location every 5 minutes. But
But it's
like,
been a
in your
while
head-
since you've been though, hasn't it? It's been so if it's
It's
just
been
say
over
you
a
went
year,
to
yeah.
exactly. Say you went tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like, God, it's the same old thing. People would have.
That was the April before.
Yeah. So it was April 2022 we went.
There you go. So yeah, you
Yeah.
could
So
easily
it was
go
a
back
fair
that
old
time.
time ago.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was wild.
And
But
this
How
time,
about
where you'll be
you?
doing videos rather than live, even if you want to do both, but at least like whatever you catch will be clear as day. Obviously, yeah, it's on a video, but yeah,
Yeah.
I did remember seeing that video, the live one you done, George
Well,
Jarvis
we're
School.
hoping that we can sort of slow it down a little bit this year and not get out every single weekend.
Do you know
Well, I
what?
can't anyway,
Sometimes
'cause I'm in
you're
a job,
better off
but-
not. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I
better
mean,
off
and-
not.
we can do this in between as well, and you know, so we're getting the best of both worlds really, and I think it's working really well that the way that we're doing it, and it's just money. Everything's money. Everything.
Yeah, of course
around
it is.
money, and,
Yeah, of
you know,
course it is.
even milk, bread, and butter. You know, that's a tenner these days. So you
Well,
can't.
Yeah, and not only that, but you obviously got family and stuff like that, you know, and so like your family life as well. You got to balance it. It's just getting the balance right, isn't it?
That's it, yeah, it is. Yeah. But what about you? What was your most sinister feeling?
God, there's been a few.
I was gonna say-
I'd say Heston. Heston's got to be up there.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you that is really sinister. I've got used to it now, but yeah, like my dad said to you earlier, I was on at the time. He said about having 7 months out. We was worried about attachments, stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, we had time out there. But yeah, Heston, I'd say another really dark place. Really, it's really weird because some of them aren't the ruins. The ruins don't always seem to be that dark. It's more like the
Yeah.
graveyards. Oh,
I know
God.
one that sticks in my head was one that we all done together, and it was the first time that all four of us went to Petworth Chapel.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
See,
and-
yeah,
and
I forgot about that.
It's on video where me and you were both stood there with our headphones on. We've got the static in our ears. Your dad and Carl at the main entrance, and I
Asking
think
questions.
asking
Daryl.
questions.
Daryl
And
was there
Darren
as
was
well.
there as well. And I remember it clearly because I actually edited that small thing straight into a little short because Carl or Barry asked a question and we both said at the same time, a female spirit wants
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
you know,
I
and it's
actually remember that bit now. I
bizarre,
actually forgot about Petworth. Yeah.
so bizarre that we both said it. You can't,
Yeah.
you can't make it up, you know.
Because for me that was a sad place. It was sad because of the story, because of the the kids with the bombs,
Yeah.
getting bombed and that in the school. But yeah, I'll tell you another dark place was, believe it or not, the first Portland tunnels we done. We done the second Portland tunnels with you guys. The first one we done with Daryl and my dad,
Yeah,
and that's when we heard the disembodied voices in that main, like like the like the middle tunnel where they used to sleep in
yeah.
in that section there. I was on a like doing a Estes, and but obviously I can't hear nothing. It's all white noise to me. But all you could hear when they were asking questions is like almost like a three-way conversation. But you could hear a woman's voice, a man, and
Yeah.
Daryl was saying to my dad at the time, "I think someone's out there." And so they wanted to get me out the Estes because I couldn't hear. But you could clearly hear all disembodied voices and stuff, and that was quite freaky, really. We didn't know at the time until we watched it back. But look, it's always scarier when you watch things back because when you're in the moment, you're so focused, you haven't got time to be scared. But it's when you watch it back and think, "Oh, how did I do that?" Or
Yeah.
you sort of think that. I'm
Well,
sure
I
you think that
remember
yourself.
when we all went together and we done the Weymouth tunnels. Obviously not a lot happened, but when we all met up in the end in the middle tunnel and we done the filming together, we kept hearing them knocking and noises down at the
Well, you
far end.
knocked
And
on the wall, didn't you? You
Yeah.
knocked on the wall and it said it was me. Like you say, "Oh, can you knock?" and all that, and you done your knock, and then like we're sure we heard a knock back, and then it said it was me
yeah,
on this, and we're like, "Oh my God," got a bit freaked out by it, and then
Yeah.
we kept hearing stuff at the end of the tunnel, didn't we? When
Yeah.
near that pallet.
yeah.
But there was so much going on there. I think it's not until you watch back you realise actually that it's quite a good night, really. Although it seemed quiet in
Yeah.
the moment,
Well,
it's
we try and do a lot of necrophonics now, but we try and do it out loud, don't we? So like the viewers can hear what we hear. And I think when you're there in the moment, you can hear bits, but when you're watching it back and when you're coming to putting your video up and you're editing it, you start hearing things like clearly.
yeah.
You know, and it's like bloody hell. It was more responsive than what I actually thought it was.
It always is, isn't it? When you watch it back, like it doesn't make sense in the moment, and then it's not until you watch it back you think, "Oh, that's well lining up," or you
Yeah.
know.
So,
Another. Oh God, sorry.
So I was just going to say, Barry's just said Buck Fastley in Devon was
Oh
very eerie.
God, how can I forget about Buckfast? That was really eerie. I mean, that was sinister. And funniest thing is that it really started picking up when we were leaving.
I did say hello. I'm going to ask about a car. I don't know. Sorry, Barry. Go on.
No, sorry, I was just saying about Buckfastly. It's funny because one of the local, I think, well, the bar owner, the pub owner, he said, if you're going to Buckfastly, go there at midnight. Don't go early, go there at midnight. And we thought, well, we ain't really got the time because we were driving back that night. So I drove there and drove back. So I thought, we want to get up there and do a bit. Obviously, it's a winter. Well, was it winter? Oh, it's the end of the summer. So it was drawing in quite quick. Anyway, we got there and I think we set up about eight, not maybe 9. Anyway, by the time we finished was about midnight or just coming up to midnight, and that's when it started getting lively. We was in like a little, I don't want to call it a hallway, but it was like the entrance to the main church, and it's where you got benches both sides, a bit like most churches have. Anyway, in there we found a hotspot for it, and it was almost like what you'd call what do they call it? Not a hotspot, but you know, like what's the word where it's so active? You know, like trying to think of what. Sorry, it'll come to me in a minute. But we call it a hotspot, but it's just where it's so active. My dad will probably correct me in a minute, but it's
Like the portal where they can come through, sort of thing.
yeah, what's like a you know like a
A
A
portal.
portal, yeah, that's the one. That's it. Yeah, cheers,
Yeah.
Dad. That's it. Yeah, so it was a portal, and we found it there, and we thought, oh, actually, this is a sweet spot for us because it's so active there. And as the night was gaining on, it said so we've done the history about the building, and there was Richard Cabell who stayed there or died there, and
Mm.
he was influenced by, or he was involved with that the guy who done Sherlock Holmes,
Arthur
Sir
Conan
Arthur
Doyle.
Conan Doyle.
Yeah.
And it was all linked with like House of the Baskerville and stuff. Anyway, we was doing all that sort of story behind it at the beginning, but right at the end, it said about Squire. It said Squire, not Squire Richard. It said Squire. And as we were packing up, it said fire. And there was a fire. There was a blaze several times, and they reckon it was a Satanist who burnt down the church.
Bloody
So
hell.
it started getting really lively at the end.
Bloody
Our REM pods wouldn't stop. They were singing
Yeah.
all night and going mental to the point where it's actually getting annoying.
Yeah, yeah.
because our ears are just ringing. And
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
thinking it's great on camera to see it, but like, yeah, when you're there trying to listen out and everything, all you can hear is the REM pods.
Yeah.
It was really active. I mean, that's a great place to go as well, by the way. Yeah, it's Devon. I understand that. It's about 2 and 3/4 hours, maybe
Yeah.
2.5
But to
hours.
be fair though,
It's
like
good.
some of these places, you make a day of it. You
Of
go
course you
out,
do, yeah.
go and find a nice little country pub, have a quiet pint and a sandwich or whatever,
That's
and
exactly what we did. Yeah, yeah.
you make a day of it. And it's. And Barry also says, ask Barry about the church near him.
Well, right. I'll skim over this quick. Right, what it is, like you just said about going out for something to eat. Before we start investigations, we always go to a pub and all that sort of thing. This time we had Vienna, my dog. So we was just going to take her to the church and everything local. So anyway, we decided to go to the local church near me, rather than we went there in the end. But like sorry, what's her name? Florence Nightingale.
Oh
So
yeah.
we've done a storyline on that.
Oh
And
shit!
what it was,
Is that the one when you actually had Florence come through on the
yeah,
spirit?
well, yeah, but yeah. So we went to the church and it said Florence Nightingale. Oh, sorry, no, it didn't say no. It didn't say. Sorry, tell you what, it didn't say Nightingale. It said Florence. Florence is with you. Barry, be careful. It kept saying that, and we're like, what? And it kept saying our name, and we're like, what? Fucking hell, we felt almost like a target. So it was honestly, well, like, oh god, this is a bit like, shall we carry on? So this is the church near me. But what it was, because we was going to go to the church originally, Florence Nightingale's church, but I got the wrong postcode and I thought it looked too far away. It was only round the corner. Cut a long story short, we went to the church near me to start. We dropped Vienna off. And so we went to a local church near me, but it started coming up with Florence is with you. Florence respects you. Barry, be careful. All this stuff in one night. And we're like, oh, and this is the first time this app was since I don't know what it is, my dad will tell you, but ever since that night, the app's been kind to us. I've got to say, it's been really kind to us. It's been with us, and it keeps telling us about we've got a strong aura, and all that. So every location we go to, whether it's like Minster Lovell, it told us a story about that. We went to Sutton Vane, it told us the guy's name. It actually said his whole name, Richard Bailey. We went to Heston, it said about Frederick White. So we've been to all these locations and it's telling us the history or people that we're basing the history on. And it's incredible. It actually blows my mind to the point where I'm thinking, it's not just a word where it sort of says, I don't know, forest, and you think, I can link it up to that. It's telling you like the person who we're talking about in the video, like,
And
and
the thing
hence,
is, guys, is what we're talking about is the spirit talker and the necrometer. Now, what they are is they're a bit like the Ovilus Freeze, but the only difference for me in them is about £400-500. They do exactly the same thing, and for anyone's watching who hasn't seen it, it's got a phonetic database in it, so there's no way that we can manipulate it. You can't type to it and get it to read out what you've just typed. So they're really relevant responses, aren't they?
yeah, they are. But do you know what?
They
With
are
this,
such an important
Tool.
sorry,
tool to our investigations, aren't they? These maps,
yeah, that necrometer thing, it sings for us, and we feel privileged with it. We feel quite lucky, really, and not in an arrogant way, but we feel
bit of kit we can actually have.
definitely.
because
we can have
what it is,
900 REM pods and we can have 900 K2s around, but without something to go off of, it's very difficult. So I think
Because how many times have we been on location and there's not a lot really going off,
Yeah, they're the
There's something
focal
comes
point.
through on there, then we react to that, then bugger me.
Exactly,
then
and you can
we
go
then probably
step
go
by
off,
step
pay
and
for
go
your
off like
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
But honestly, because we were sort of like, you know, because we were sort of like getting all this stuff through on like all these investigations. I mean, really specific stuff, and we're thinking, bloody hell, it blew our mind. And we're sort of thinking, is there a GPS built in there? There's not. You can't put words in on that necrometer. You just can't. We've tried. You
Yeah.
can't. And so we're looking at like GPS. And the funny thing is about a GPS with this, so like we at first I was a little bit dubious, thinking there's got to be something.
Yeah.
It's too accurate. But anyway, so I was looking into the GPS. It's not a GPS because, for example, I'll give you an example. When we went to Heston Church, me and my dad call it Heston Church. It's actually called St Leonard's Church. Now, if it was a GPS, it would say, because it said on the last investigation we done at Heston Church, it told us about Heston Church. It actually said come up Heston Church twice on that investigation, as well as Frederick White. So anyway, if it was a GPS, it would have told us St Leonard's Church. We call it Heston Church just because it's in Heston. So
Yeah.
there's no way. They're basically talking to us, and that's why me and my dad are just so privileged with that, because for us,
Yeah.
that's our gold. That's our gold,
Yeah.
and also this little community you build. Like I'm sure you have on your side, you build a sort of community, and they chat to each other. Like when you're doing, you know, the other day I got our lady asked if when our next video's out and stuff, and that's quite warming because you sort of think,
Yeah.
this is nice. It's a little community
Yeah.
you build. So that's
Makes
our
it
goal,
feel
really,
worth
the
it, doesn't it?
contact.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you what, like, obviously, ever since Knowlton, which was the first time that we was lucky enough to bump into you guys,
Yeah.
we've sort of felt as though that we've always had a spirit with us called Sarah. Now, it was
So where was it?
a couple of months ago, we was doing a video at a haunted ruins. I can't remember where it was, but we was up near Reading sort of way. But we
Right.
had a comment on our video from a psychic medium who commented on our video saying, "Sarah's with you. She says hello."
Yeah.
And it's
Ah.
like, what the, like, how weird is that? Like, yeah, like,
Have you spoke to her since?
no,
Have you got her name in the comments? No, I don't mean here, but
she never commented before since. And it
Ah.
she commented on that one specific video and said, so I can't remember exactly what the whole comment was, but it was along the lines of Sarah's with you, or tell Sarah, oh no, their Sarah is, tell her I said hello. And it was
Yeah.
like, how do you know that? Like, it's just bizarre. It's
Yeah, because
bizarre.
my dad's saying there it was Knowlton Church where she came from, because we was
Yeah.
getting Sarah at Knowlton like last year, or a long time ago. I think the first time we done Knowlton, it was really windy day. It was awful, really. Not so much the recording weren't. It was actually pretty terrible as well. It was shaky and all that, but it was really windy. So it was
Yeah.
like really. I like to keep saying on the video, like, sorry, apologies for the feedback or the, you know. But that day we went, it was like a stone was thrown at us, and it kept coming up with Sarah. And so anyway, you start going on like, oh, is this you, Sarah? Who are we speaking to? It kept saying Sarah, Sarah. And I asked a few more names. It said like Amy and a few more stuff. And so we kept, after that Knowlton, we started getting humming on every investigation was going on. So it was a female hum. And prime example, Portland Tunnels, the first one we done. All I kept hearing in real time was, And we're like, did you hear that? Like, you can hear it with our own ears. You can hear it, it's on the video. But
Yeah.
we believed that was a Sarah following us. And it's just strange how you said that about like Sarah following you, because that is really strange. It's bizarre. And her name does come up a
Yeah,
lot.
Like, we've never felt as though like she's ever been negative.
No.
No.
I think personally, this is just my opinion. I could be completely wrong, but I think she's just a spirit who is like just looking over you and just
Yeah.
guiding you through your investigation slightly and sort of like
A
warding off,
protector. A
like
protector.
warding off evil spirits, because sometimes we get a lot of dark stuff come through on the apps and that, and obviously we have to react to it and we have to ask questions and you know, why are you here to hurt us, blah blah blah. And the prime one was the other week when we was at the bunker. We had we will exercise you, and demon and this, that, and the other. And then we was like thinking like, oh, you know, we need to leave soon. Like, we're gonna have to sage and leave. And then straight away it come through on the spirit talker saying, but there is good here. So we reacted to that, and it's like, we'll look after you. And it's like, so I just believe that it's a protector.
Yeah. So rather than like oh, go on.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, Leah says in the comments, Carl, I think it's quite close to Columpton.
The place that they were going about in Devon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Columpton is not too far, so yeah.
Well,
I
sorry,
might
where's
be
that to?
wondering.
Where's Columpton close to?
That Folk Farley,
Buckfastleigh.
Buck Farsley.
Oh,
in Devon.
Buckfastleigh, Devon. Oh, yeah.
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 Oh, yeah. Honestly, that is one to do. By the way, the church is on the top of a hill. And so you're at the
Mhm.
highest point in the town centre, and it is quite freaky. I'd say it's a big church or big ruin.
Yeah. I come across a church actually the other day near Dartmoor on Google Maps that I was looking at. I can't remember what it was called, but it looked really high up. Like from the car park, you have to cross over the B road, and then you have to sort of like
It
walk up.
might be Buckfastleigh if it's in Devon. It might, because the spire's so obviously we're on a hill. It's the
Yeah.
highest point in the town. It's the focal point of the town. But it
Yeah,
might
well,
well be
like,
that.
I think like the closest village, because I mapped it to the local fish and chip shop because I thought, well, if we're going to ever go there, I
You
want
want
to
a
get
fish
some
and
food.
chip.
And I know like the
Yeah.
closest fish and chip shop village was about 4.5 miles away. So this is like
Ah.
well on its own out the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
It-
got the
it's
town.
open. It's open 24/7. There's no door on it. It's like Knowlton but with a roof. So
Yeah.
you know you
Yeah,
can
that's
actually get
good.
inside. Yeah.
Yeah, that is good.
They look mad. Look absolutely
Yeah, because
mad.
you guys went to that. Because the day that we met you, the first night we met you, we came back from. It's only local. It's about 6 miles out, but it was a church,
It's the
and
one where your dad wouldn't climb through the window, wasn't it?
yeah, him like
Yeah.
yeah. So it's the one that I think you guys went back to, wasn't it, to try it?
We've never done
No.
it.
Oh, well, anyway, yeah, honestly, I mean, the windows are like, fucking hell, they're tiny. And I squeezed through it, old snake hips. I squeezed through it, and I was lucky to get through it, really. But anyway, I squeezed through it, and I thought the main
Yeah,
door would be
no, no.
open or something. Anyway, I've gone to because my dad said, go to the main entrance, see if the door, the double doors are open. Because if the double doors are open, then we wouldn't get nicked or anything for breaking in because it's
Mhm.
open. But where it wasn't, I just said, "Oh, let's go." And then we decided to go to Knowlton, and then that's when that's the same night we bumped into you guys when I thought
Yeah.
you two were dog walkers. So I said,
Yeah, well, we thought you guys were just up there smoking weed, having a jolly old time,
yeah,
drinking alcohol.
It's-
We thought we could see lights, and we thought, oh, fucking hell, what a
Because we were sat in the car, weren't we? We were going, do we, don't we,
yeah,
do we, don't we?
yeah. We
Yeah.
were literally sat in the car for 10 minutes thinking, well, we've driven all this way, and there's bloody people here. Like, it was
It's
like, bloody
typical. I
hell.
know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah, and then obviously, 2 years down the line, look where we are. So
yeah.
yeah, it was-
Fate.
Oh, just a point on what my dad's saying here. But like Buckfastleigh it's called the actual church is called the Holy Trinity. It wasn't called that, was it? Where you was looking at, was it?
it
The Holy
wasn't. No,
Trinity.
it definitely
No.
wasn't called the Holy Trinity. Yeah.
Right.
Babe, can I use your phone quickly, just for 2 secs, just to Google something? Is that all right?
But yeah, there's so many places to do. Like free ones, even like paid ones. But I think if we were to chip in, a bit later on, it doesn't have to be now. But when everyone's okay with it and got the money and that, we should all chip in and maybe either do the Ram in or somewhere like that. Oxford Prison.
Castle. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
places like
100%
that.
up for that.
We'd have the same.
Definitely
We'd have the whole place to ourselves, Cole. The whole place.
Oh, it'd be
So
amazing. Be amazing. Like, we could even do a thing of one of us stay in a cell for like half hour and just have a camera on us,
Yeah.
like, let's go
Yeah.
away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It'd be really
exactly.
good.
or set up a
It's really, really
static
good.
in one of the cells or
That's
down the
it.
corridor and just
Yeah.
leave it. Just
Yeah.
let it roll.
Yeah. It'd be amazing.
Mm.
Yes, I've just found Buckfastleigh on there, and it's definitely not that one.
Right. Okay.
I think it's a little bit further away. It's not that one. I will find it in a sec. Because it wasn't even near. So it might have been this one. No, it wasn't that one.
But Dad's saying you can be the first for that, Cole. He's on about sitting in a cell.
Honestly, I'd do it. I would. I would.
No,
I'd do
I
it.
would. Strangely enough, I would. Yeah.
I'd be scared, but yeah, I'd do it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. The old
it's
apron would be
called
going, wouldn't it?
Oh, it would be, mate.
It's called St Michael's Church,
Okay.
and it's just off of the. Well, I'll tell you what. Actually, if I get the thing up, it's in Tavistock.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, it's
right.
in Tavistock, so it's completely it's on its own. There's nothing there.
Isolated.
Yeah, it's
Open
isolated.
24 hours.
Open
It ain't me, mate.
so, open 24 hours. I can get this. But yeah, look, if you can see on there that it's absolutely.
Yeah, there's literally nothing around it.
So there's the obviously the moors, and
To me, and then you look to me.
Literally
Yeah,
the-
so it's well, yeah.
There's
Yeah,
nothing
that will be
around it
creepy. That
whatsoever.
one.
the closest
Yeah.
village is Brentor, and it's
To me.
probably a good 4.5, 5 miles away.
Yeah, so you're basically on your own there. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
creepy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can
No, but it's
really
good. It's good to. It's always good to keep looking ahead. You know, like I say, when I'm doing a location, I'm always thinking of the next one. So
Yeah.
we've got one tied. We've got one tied up at the minute, or we'll be doing one. But I'm already searching for the next. It's my mind's always ticking for the next. It's yeah, and
Yeah, I
slowly
think it's a
ticking
bit
on.
like me. Like I find as soon as I get home, I'm like itching. I'm like, where's the next one?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's obviously, like you said, it's money, it's family, it's time
Yeah.
and effort, and it all adds up. And obviously, it's but we'll get there. There's no rush. These
No, that's
places
it.
ain't gonna
There's no
disappear.
rush for it, is there? There's no rush for it. They're not going nowhere.
No,
Them
that's it.
places are always going to be there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, no, it's been eventful the first year of us doing this, and like me and Carl have always said to each other, whether we get 1 subscriber or 100 million subscribers, we'll do it because we like doing it.
Mm.
Yeah.
And if one person can watch what we've captured, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. And another thing though, as well, is that a lot of people lose sight of what they actually started for. So, like, they can let the money go to their head, or they let their channel thinking, like, the ego comes out, and they just lose track of what they actually started for.
Yeah,
I see so many people doing this, and it's a shame because then it almost degrades the paranormal.
Mm.
Whereas if you kept it original and just kept it 100, you'd be more. I don't know. They've also got to like you as well. I think the people who watch you have also, you've got to be likable. And that helps, and honest, and of course honest.
I would rather put a video up and get 5 views on it and know that it's an authentic video.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then why waste £1,000 on equipment, £500 a year on petrol
Yeah,
to fake something? Like, what's the point?
exactly. What's the
Like, you might as
point?
well turn all the lights off in your house and do it indoors.
Because you only, the bottom line is, you only,
Mm.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you're doing it for clicks.
It cool, yes, clickbait. But the only reason a lot of people do this, like you might see it, I'm sure you've seen it, all these sort of like, oh, being touched, all that. You're cheating yourselves at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah.
To get anyone else, you're cheating yourselves, and then you lose credibility, and
Yeah.
that's sometimes what drives me mad. Sometimes I'm like, I look at it and I think, oh, that didn't happen. Oh, that didn't happen. But like I say, if you're 100% to yourself and you stay genuine and 100%, there's me and my dad have loads of quiet nights, but it's watchable because it's
Yeah.
genuine,
That's right.
Yeah, we've been on places before where we've not had a lot happen, but we still post it because that's what's happened.
Yeah.
absolutely.
It says it in our description as well on the actual on our tag, on our Spirit Brothers tag. It says if anything happens, then it happens. If it doesn't, then it doesn't.
Yeah,
You know?
well, that's paranormal.
Exactly.
It'd be more suspicious if you was getting everything every
The day
week,
you take it, is
and then
the day
people
you
be
might
like,
not
I
take
don't
it.
know about these guys. The alarm bells will start ringing, or red flags will come up, and like if you're getting loads of stuff every week, because it just doesn't happen like that.
No,
When you see all these. Oh, sorry, go on, Cole.
No, I was just agreeing with you. You can't you can't guarantee anything's going to happen.
No, of course you can't. Yeah,
You can't say, oh, we've got.
and that's
this,
the
that,
beauty
and
of
that.
it, really.
Yeah.
You're going into the unknown. You might have a really quiet night, and at the same time, because you're going into the unknown, you might have a really busy night. So that's part of the enjoyment level, I think. You just don't know what you're going to get.
We found that when we went to Wayland Smithy that the first 2 hours was dead. It was absolutely dead, and I thought, fucking hell, we're just 2 men looking so stupid sat in a field on our own. And then for 20 minutes, everything went. The REM pods, the Kate, the REM bear, everything, and it's just crazy as anything.
You'll find sometimes as well, some places might even take hours to ramp up. But when it goes, and then other places.
I build that trust as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course you have. On a
Yeah.
personal level, you've got to build that trust. But
Yeah.
you'll find on some investigations, it's like surges. So you might get
Mhm.
like a massive influx of all like the devices going off, or some of them, and then it'll stop, slow down. Then
Yeah.
it'll burst again. Whereas
Yeah.
other nights, it might just be flatline all the way. And then other
Mhm.
nights, it might be chaos all the way. And so
Yeah.
that's the beauty of it. You just never know what you're going to walk into.
No, that's
Well,
true.
The one thing I was going to say was better snap. We had nothing all night. Nothing
Yeah.
all night for the 2 hours, 3 hours that we were there. Only until you went, oh, let's go around the front bit.
Yeah.
And as soon as we went around the front bit, that was it. It just kicked off.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really, really kicked off.
It was a mad
You know,
place.
But and like I say, that was only for about half hour. It kicked off, and then it died off, and then we went. You know, but that last little 30-minute bit was worth it.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Even though we were there for hours, you know, and only a little bit happened.
I mean, I find a lot of places, especially places that we go to when they're on like ley lines and stuff, that it does come in waves and it comes and it goes.
It will do. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Especially with ley lines.
So
I was going
I
to say
think
to you guys, have you ever thought about setting up a static? So when you're in another area, you've got a static running sort of thing,
Yeah.
or
we have done it on several locations where we have had a static. It's just where I've only got my device and he's got his device.
I
Obviously,
see.
we
Yeah.
tried-
Yeah.
But we all do upgrade soon anyway, so hopefully we're having a couple of spare ones. And but we have done it before on several locations where we've
Because,
taken a
yeah,
static,
we-
and it does
we-
add to the feel of the video as well.
And yeah, it does. And not only that, but also what you'll miss, that catches, or it might
Yeah,
potentially
yeah.
catch. And then so you can
Yeah.
add that and it'd be like, yeah, well,
Yeah.
look, yeah, what can't speak, can't lie. So
Yeah.
yeah, it does add another layer to it.
Yeah.
Also,
But,
I find with the extra cameras, when you got the one and something happens, people are easy to say, "Oh, that's fake. You did that." When you've got a static or other camera, they can clearly see. Well,
Yeah.
we stood there.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
How can that
Yeah.
happen? We can't make that happen. So
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that static's a backup, really. It's a backup
Yeah.
for proof as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even if you guys say you had a static filming you, but you still had a camera in your hand and you're filming around and all that sort of thing, you can like you can join them all up in the editing thing. But at
Yeah.
the same time, like you're saying, if your camera missed it, you've got backup. Like
Yeah,
say
that's
say something was thrown, and like you're not moving, but like your camera can't prove that. The static can because they can. The static will show you guys not moving, and so
Exactly,
it just reassures people that like look, it is
Yeah.
honest what we've
Yeah.
heard or seen.
It
Or
does. Yeah.
but yeah.
100%.
All
But,
right, then, guys. Well,
So
Go-
yeah,
go
guys, we've come to the end of our the end of our live tonight because the battery is going to go in a sec. I've just had a notification saying I've got a couple of % battery, but we've loved having you all in. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. Send us subscribe. It's always nice. And when you get a moment, go and check out Haunted Seekers. Also, drop them a like, drop them a subscribe, and comment on their videos because they are fantastic at what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
much appreciated.
We've both loved having both of you on tonight, Barry Jr. and Barry
yeah,
Senior.
thank you. Likewise.
And we will definitely link up in the future and go and do another place together.
Yeah,
100%,
definitely. We'll catch up
100%.
soon. Well, thanks very much,
100%.
guys. Take care,
Thank you for
and
your time.
you are.
Thank you for your time, mate.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. But listen, it's been great. You having me on, and we'll catch up soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
100%.
take care,
Now,
guys.
you stay safe and stay on the hunt, and we will see you next time round.
It's
See you
not a
later,
dream.
guys.
Cheers. Bye. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.